Look, we got the memo.
Yeah, you see?
Well, I mean, I'm excited to talk to you because you're a legend in filmmaking. So it's an honor.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. This film, Green Border, was fascinating in the sense that you're bringing a little bit about what's going on on the other side of the world. I mean, I'm in LA. We are very oblivious to a lot of these things that are going on. That's not really covered much.
Well, I think that everybody is living a bit in our bubble, in their bubbles, and the people in other countries don't know exactly what's going on in other countries, especially Americans are very America-centric. But the people in Europe, they don't know too much about what's going on an American-Mexican border, and we don't know what's going on Saudi and Arabian border, which is one of the most cruel and violent border on the planet. So, but in the same time, it's every place is the same kind of the situation with some specificities and with some local coloring or the local context. But the subject of migration is, I think, one of the most important and challenging subject of the modernity. And we are now heading into the direction which is very dangerous for the future of those people who try to reach us and for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, politics plays a big part. And you mentioned something that the misery of refugees fleeing conflict is a kind of hybrid weapon.
Well, because in Europe, the migration crisis started in 2015 because of the Syrian war, when suddenly a big number of Syrian refugees fleeing the war tried to reach Europe, and a lot of them did. And the reaction of the Europe was very hysterical. It wasn't the reaction of the solidarity mostly, it was the reaction of fear that suddenly so many Muslims will come and our life will change. But I think that the people will not have that reaction if it wasn't manipulated and used by far-right politicians, populist politicians who found the political gold in creation of that fear and feeding that fear and manipulating with the informations. And they've been right, because based on that fear, several political movements in several countries like Hungary or Germany or France or in Poland won the elections and built up the power. So the democratic part of Europe became very and Mrs. Merkel, the Chancellor Merkel, she went against the stream and she accepted millions of refugees like that to Germany. It was very generous, but in the same time, it created, of course, a lot of problems and reinforced that feeling that that it's too much, that we cannot accept people. And exterior dictators like Putin, especially the regimes like Putin's or others, but Putin in the first place, they understood how fragile Europe is on that subject and how easy it is to destabilize European Union, which is his main target, with controlling and manipulating the flow of the refugees and migrants. And like that, he had the idea to open that corridor through Belarus to Poland, Lithuania, Latvia. And it worked because the Polish government have seen the opportunity also to use that situation for their political profit. And they created that zone, which was forbidden, something like exceptional zone, for a closed zone, where the access was forbidden to the media, to all medias, to the activists, medical help, and so on. And like that, they could do whatever they wanted without leaving the traces. And as I called it, the laboratory of the violence and lie, because the first thing they started to do, it was to dehumanize those people, calling them the terrorists, pedophiles, zoophiles, rapists, and in the first place, Lukashenko and Putin's weapons. It means they are not human beings anymore. They are weapons which endangered us. And it worked. So in the same time, the group of people, the local people who been confronted with, with those sometimes dying people next to their houses in the forest, and the activists who organized themselves, they started to deliver the help, to help the people. They organized themselves quite efficiently to save as many lives as possible. So you've seen, the best and the worst on that border. And it is somehow the laboratory of the modernity. It's where we are today, at least as a West, as the wealthy world. We don't want to share our comfort with others. We don't want to. We can eventually to send some money outside. We can send some weapons outside. We can eventually to send those who arrive to us to some places like Rwanda or in the best Turkey or Tunisia, but we don't want them on our soil. And that feeling, which wasn't so general 10 years ago, unites the population of even of very polarized societies. Most of them agree that that the migrants have to disappear. And unfortunately or fortunately, they don't want to disappear. They are here not because they have the caprice like that, but because the world we also help to create in their places, it's impossible to live, because you have the fallen states like Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and we played very important part in the creation of that situation. They have the regime, they have the domestic war, they have the famine, and they have something which is progressing very quickly, the climatic catastrophe, where you will have in the south more and more of places where it's practically impossible to survive. So they will be coming. And if we will be dealing with that in the same way, it means that the populistic manipulative propaganda, the next step will be to try to kill everybody. So we are on the edge of the probably biggest crime against humanity which will ever happen. So I think that me especially, who made several films about other crimes against humanity like Holocaust or Holodomor, when I see it, in front of my eyes, and I see how easy is progress, is political progress, and the mental acceptance of that kind of the proceeding, I have to try to give again the faces and voices to those who've been deprived, who became voiceless and faceless, because if somebody is anonymous and it's weapon, it's very easy to accept that you will be shooting him.
Mm-hmm. That is very unfortunate. And you, in the end of the credits, you even say that people are still dying at the Polish and Belarusian border, which is very, very sad to hear.
Yeah, and we have new government, democratic government, after what, and they've been we have been expecting, and they've been also promising to humanize the process, but now they went to the shoes of the populists, and they are doing this exactly same things. And of course, it's the situation becomes more and more radical from both sides. So we will see what will gonna happen.
Yes, unfortunately. And real quick, to wrap up, what was the purpose of you directing this film in black and white?
we wanted with my cinematographer, we wanted to, on one hand, you know, in the first place, I like black and white. It's I like aesthetic of that. I like the purity of that. But also we wanted to have something like the documentary, like rawness, and in the same time have the metaphorical dimension that is a bit timeless, that reality, because you enter that zone and you have impression that you've been transported in the time to 40s of last century. You know, it is the images, the imaginary, the situation, the eyes of the people you suddenly, you know, find, you know, in the forest. It's like, you know, it's like the same region during the Holocaust. So we wanted somehow to make from out of that forest some kind of the timeless metaphor.
You know, that's funny you say that, because when I sat down to watch, and obviously I didn't really want to put too much into watching the trailer because I don't want to, it's nice to just be surprised what you're going to watch. But
I like it as well.
the fact that I saw your name, I felt like I did not need to see the trailer. So when I sat down to watch and it started, and I was like, okay, I got to prepare because I'm getting into this other zone. And then yes, you're definitely transporting us into a completely different time, and I appreciated that black and white feature.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations in the
Thank you.
and bringing, you know, opening our eyes to what is going out there, especially here in the US.
Thank you, Nancy.